media, staff, management, and its affiliates. Welcome to another great episode of Sean Garvey and my special guest. I am Sean Garvey. Thank you so much for tuning in. As you all know, the adult entertainment industry has been around for a long time, and it is a lucrative business. And joining with me here on Sean Garvey and my special guest is a gentleman who doesn't really need no introduction, ladies and gentlemen. He is definitely a person that you are going to get familiar with and that you are going to get to know in the world of erotica, sex, and so many more. And we have so much to talk about. We have Yoniwhisperer here on Sean Garvey and my special guest. Peace and blessings to you. How you doing?
Peace. I'm doing well. Happy to be here.
For you to be here as well too, and this is our first time actually being in studio together.
Yes.
Having this important conversation.
First time meeting.
First time meeting in the city of Atlanta. You know, city of Atlanta. They always say that it's a small circle. It's a small world, but it's a big city.
Melting pot.
It's a melting pot of so many people.
Yeah.
Before we go any further, I'm curious to know, what do you love about Atlanta?
All right, so I'm from New York.
Let's start there, from New York, okay.
Yeah, so I'm from New York, but I'm kind of tired of New York because I've lived there so long. Atlanta offers both. It offers a little city life, and I can escape into nature whenever I want. There's so many trails, there's so many waterfalls and mountains, and I love it, you know.
Yeah. You know, sometimes I visit North Georgia. I remember during the pandemic in 2020, I went to Blue Ridge Mountains for the first time. You've been there before? And it's just such a great getaway to really just be in tune, to be one with nature, and to also just reflect, and it helps with your mental health too.
Being from the city, it's hard to walk barefoot. We don't, that's a no-no. It's too much to step on. So, it's a challenge for me to get into nature and, take my shoes off and, just put my feet in the grass and connect and ground myself, hug some trees.
You're a tree hugger too?
I'm a tree hugger.
Oh my, we got another. Hey man, look, big shout outs to you. I'm a tree hugger as well.
Yes.
Yeah, I got a picture that I posted online a couple of years ago of me hugging a tree. And look, if you all have not hugged a tree in your life, please be open minded. Go hug a tree. Okay.
It's crazy because we walk by them every day, but we don't realize. Well, we realize it, but it's just like breathing. We don't realize how important the air is. But when you touch a tree, if you touch a tree for longer than 3 to 5 seconds, it's the same thing with hugging a person. Like, we usually don't hug people for more than three. It's usually like a 2-second thing, maybe not even that long.
Right.
Maybe 1 second. You hug somebody and hold them for 3, 4, 5 seconds. It's the same thing with a tree. It's like you connect to the pulse of that system, of that living system.
Yeah.
And the tree's connected to the earth, like it's in the ground. It's embedded in so many different roots. When you connect with the tree, it's just a different feeling. It just balances you.
What you put out there in the universe is what you're going to get back. Yeah, and if you hug that tree is going to hug you back.
Yeah, give us some attention. Say thank you. You know what I mean? Keep it moving.
Yeah, indeed.
Just keep it moving.
So, Yoniwhisperer, I have you in the studio because I am very intrigued by your profession, your passion, your love for presenting what some people will consider to be erotica art, if you will. We have so much to talk about, but let's talk about the person behind Yoniwhisperer. who is the person behind the brand, behind the name? Let's start there.
Okay. Well, first it's Yoniwhisperer.
It's not Yoni the Whisperer.
No,
it's
it's
Yoni.
Yoniwhisperer.
Okay.
It's cool though. This is it's the same feel. I just wanted you to know. And I want everybody else to know. Well, first of all, that name wasn't given to me.
Okay.
I mean, I didn't create that name. It was given to me by like 3 different clients that I've had that didn't know each other. So I just kind of took it and ran with it because it resonated with what I was doing.
Mm-hmm.
The majority of my clients are female. I do help men, but I don't do hands-on work with men.
Okay.
I know people who work on men, but my work with men extends to advice and navigation. When it comes to my work, I like to help people heal first, because it's a given that I'll go as far as to say even past most of us are in need of healing. I feel like all of us. That's the one thing I could probably say as an absolute. If I'm wrong, I apologize, but I feel like all of us need to heal from the world, from not the world, but the way that men have run it. And it creates so much stress and discord and lack of understanding, and that it leaves us with blocked chakras. The chakras that are aligned in our bodies. They can be blocked at any time from any life experience, So, but we don't know, most of us don't know about them, and we don't know how to clear them. But we're still moving forward in life like, everything is sweet when it really isn't. We haven't found closure on our last mission. We haven't found closure from that. We're just moving on like it's another day, and it's these things that medicine can't take care of, and supplements, and more porn, and more liquor, and making more money. It doesn't make it go away. We have to actually face and look in the mirror and do some inner work. And a lot of people aren't ready for that journey. They would rather the comfort of just pretending like they're okay, and hopefully the next day will be better.
Mm-hmm.
So I deal with the baseline catalyst. What is happening? Where did it come from? And are you ready to face it? Are you ready to release it? And then once you release it, you've emptied your cup. You have room for the next chapter.
Okay. Yeah. For our viewers out there, and maybe you can give them some clarity or some clarification, would you be considered to some extent like a sex therapist?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And expound on that, please.
Okay, so my experience, and it extends to what I've experienced in life. And I've educated myself in modalities that help me to purge. Modalities that have helped my male sexual health as well as my overall health. It's worked wonders for me. And I'm sharing what I know because it's not meant just for me. This is information that should have been taught day one to us. But there are reasons why we don't know this type of information, is because it's healing and it's empowering, and it takes away from the need to depend on medicine and depend on porn or anything like that. And I don't want to keep saying porn in a negative light, because there is good in it. It's just like, if you have a gun, the gun is not at fault for who uses the gun. It's how we use the outlet. And there are people and industries out there that are attempting to use porn in a positive way to reshape the way people think. And I think that's where we are right now,
Let's talk about that for a moment, because to this very day, porn is looked at as a bad thing to society, as a curse to society, and it's the reason why, and I'm glad we're having this conversation, it's the reason why so many breakups happen, so many divorces happen. I remember just recently, Yoni, that a colleague of mine, she sent me some statistics, some information, some data about how porn has affected societal norms and has affected families in a very negative, impactful way. And I'm just like, first of all, I'm like, where is she getting this information from? Where is she getting this data from? You know, we could have a different type of conversation for a different day about it. But what are the misconceptions of porn when people hear the word or when it's being advertised at certain places and in certain environments or what have you? What are the misconceptions?
I think the first thing that people think when they hear the word porn is secret, because nobody really wants you to know that you secretly probably watch porn. You know, and I'm not saying everybody watches it, but it is a place where people have found that they can go and find a safe space to explore sexuality without any judgment or shame. In that safe space, we'll call them content creators, people who are actually producing the porns. They don't have sexual health in mind when they're doing it. They don't have the betterment of a person's sex life in mind. They have what's provocative in mind. They have an agenda in mind. And unfortunately, porn has been run by a male-driven agenda, where, you know, it's displaying the male's pleasure over the woman's pleasure, which starts with the male being pleased with her on her knees, and it ends with the male's orgasm. And the funny part about that is that the woman's orgasm is so much more fascinating than a man's orgasm. It comes in so many different levels. It's healthier for a woman to orgasm and climax every single time she has sex. That's why she's multi-orgasmic. It helps with her blood flow and her circulation, her heart rate. It's stress relief. Whereas for a man, if you flip it, a man's orgasm is energy, it's life force, it's soul, it's nutrients. So every time he builds it up in his scrotum, it's being released. It's supposed to be for reproduction, but we don't use it for reproduction. We use it it's wasted in condoms. It's wasted on, you know, just wiped away on the skin or something like that. So it depletes us every time we have an orgasm. Every time we release our life force, we're actually doing that, you know. So with that education, we should know that since there's life force in our orgasm, we should save it for ourselves. It's like, it'll be your coffee for the day. It'll be your energy for the day. It'll be something you can manifest to make something positive come out of your life if you choose to.
Yeah.
Manifestation sex, you know. So, you know, we've been taught backwards on how to have sex, and it's so that the man can be weaker. And we never learn the woman's orgasm, because back in the day, men were afraid of women's orgasm. They said she was cursed or she had a disease every time she had an orgasm. They didn't know. They had to figure out what was going on with this woman, why she was acting this way. So, of course, you know, what we don't understand, we fear. Because there's so much power in a woman that we have made it so we have been taught to think that it's about the male's orgasm, when it's not.
That's so interesting you said that. As a kid, going back to what you said just moments ago, back in the day, like kids like myself, we had access to porn. We had access to the porn magazines, you know, the Playboy and all the what they call dirty magazines back in the day. We had access to them, whether it was through a family member or
70s baby or 80s baby?
I'm an 80s baby.
Early 80s and the late 80s?
I'm an 84.
Okay, all right. I'm just making sure.
I'm an 84 baby, but you had access at that time, Yoni, we had access to the dirty magazines, but we also had access to the porn channels on television. And, you know, if you got caught, and I know people feel me on this one, right? If you got caught watching porn by a parent or a guardian, that's your tell. That's your behind. They give you a lecture and they tell you, oh, you shouldn't be watching this, da da da, right? They give you the whole entire lecture, right? And then, of course, there was the church community coming involved and saying that sex is a sin, porn is a sin, having sex before marriage is a sin, is an abomination against God and stuff. And then you also had sex education in the classrooms of the teachers teaching you about the dangers of having sex and stuff like that. And I just felt like, from a kid all the way up to now, I really just haven't gotten enough information or enough data to know about the sexual part, that what I need to know coming from you. So I'm glad that you broke all that down. But why do you think traditionally, just like how I laid it out to our viewers and to you, why do you think traditionally that as kids, when we go through our adolescent stage into our teenage years, into our adulthood, why do you think they put all this stuff on us, all this, what people consider, I'm just using air quotes here, misinformation, or telling us the negative, the dangers of sex at an early age, instead of not really telling us the, I guess you could say, the benefits or the positive side of sex, and what we need to do, you know what I mean? Like what we need to do as people when we engage in sex with potential partners.
Well, the short answer for that is truth is not marketable. It's never marketable. The more that the people know the truth, the less they can be manipulated to purchase or be a part of a system. So, and it's a deep, you brought up religion too. I don't want to get into a religious conversation, but it boils down to the lowest common denominator of our understanding of society and how to live. When it comes to religion, religion is also male driven. Everything is he. Everything is about the male. Even God is a man. God can't be all genders. God has to be a man. So for me, it's what is in you that connects to source? What is in you that connects to the divine? And if for you there is no other gender for God, then I don't judge or shame that. So how that trickles down into sex, sex is the single most powerful way we can connect to the divine physically. I'm not talking about spiritually or anything like, or mentally. Physically, it's just the most powerful way to connect to the divine. And I'm not saying you should be thinking about God when you're having sex. If you want to, that's fine. But the point is that there's so much power in sex that man had to get control of the way we perceive it really early on. And it's worked. We perceive sex the way that they want us to perceive sex. We also perceive life the way that they want us to perceive life in the masculine. So it's time to, as adults, start to relearn everything that we were forced to learn as children.
Right.
Relearn it, because you're not forced anymore. And if it doesn't make sense to you, investigate with the brain that God gave you. Use it to work through those problems, because if let's take it, for example, a couple that's been, married for 5 years. They waited to have sex, and now that they've consummated, the wife is realizing that the husband cannot please her, and the husband is realizing that the wife cannot communicate with him sexually. She holds her truth. Her throat chakra is blocked. The husband that only was taught sex through porn, and what porn shows him is that his wife should be deep throating him, and they should be doing all this crazy stuff, and he needs to come every time he has sex with her. It didn't teach him how to please his wife. It didn't teach him how to bring her through the levels of orgasm to get to climax. So we have two people who don't know what to do in the bedroom, and they're trying to figure out why they're not happy. And after 5, 6 years, they start to, wonder, is this working? So it's not always about there's no romance and he's cheap or she spends all my money, or it's not always that. It's sometimes it's because you didn't find closure in the bedroom last night. You're still thinking about what happened last night, why you couldn't stay hard for her, or why she couldn't stay wet for him, or it's so many different aspects to it. So
Yeah.
we got to relearn what we were forced to learn.
We got to relearn.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. When we look at porn, from whether it's back of the day or even now, you have all these different platforms on your phone where you can access porn 24/7.
And now we got AI.
AI. Oh, yeah.
So it's not going to help.
Yeah.
It's not going to help at all.
Well, yeah, but we look at it for the fantasy, but sometimes we can turn that fantasy into reality, and we thinking that, oh, if I just do this, I'll be able to please my wife, or I will be able to please my significant other in real time if I do this.
It's such a precursor in your brain that it programs your brain to think that those are the appropriate steps to take to get that result. When you shouldn't be getting that result. You shouldn't be just orgasming every time, the man. And if you don't, you'll last longer. In consequence, the result will be her orgasming and climaxing more. That's the goal. To get her through the levels of orgasm and climax. The way we benefit is from the life force we create. She is helping us create the life force, the chi, the frequency. And we use it internally. That's where we get our power from, our youth, our fountain of youth, and it's from our life force.
Yeah.
It's not from releasing it. You know what I mean? So
that makes sense to me. That makes sense in all the world to me. And this is where you come in, because you come in and you bring something totally different than some people who are involved in the industry. And I want you to explain to our viewers and to our listeners exactly what it is that you do, because I had an opportunity, Yoni, to see some of what you do, and I know you have an event coming up that we'll get into in just a few moments, but the type of work and profession that you do as a professional is not something where people will look at it for entertaining purposes, but it's also a learning experience as well.
And it's also entertaining, though.
Yeah, it's not only right.
On the low.
On the yeah, I mean, it can be seen in so many different areas, but I want you to go ahead and tell the viewers, or just illustrate the type of, I guess, show, the type of presentation, the type of art that you display to many of your followers and to even some of your potential new followers that are watching right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's start from the beginning. If you don't know, there's a community out, and it's a fetish community or sacred sexuality community. In these communities, of course, the swinger parties exist and the sex parties exist, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about, or I'm talking about, the people that I know and that I work with. These are a group of people who are actually changing the stigma of sex and how taboo it is and how misunderstood it is, and creating spaces for people to heal and educate themselves to have better sex and healthier sex. So, with that being said, in Atlanta, we have a community of people who get together and have events where you can see demonstrations of different performances, like let's take, for example, new room massage. A new room massage is where, you have a model and you have the actual practitioner. The practitioner will, oil her whole body up or his whole body up and use his body to massage the model, doing a choreographed movement with the body to slide up and down the body. It's not sex. They're not having sex. They won't have sex, but it's a way to show intimacy without sex because they're not the same thing. It's a way to show how to connect with the woman or the man without sex and still receive pleasure from it. Another one would be BDSM. You know, if you don't know what that is, it's the B stands for bondage, the D stands for dominant, the S stands for sadicus. What is it?
It starts with the letter M.
Sadicus. No, it's not. It's.
Oh.
I'm going to have to edit that part out.
Okay.
Sadomasochist.
Okay. We can say that on there.
Yeah, I can say that?
Yeah, we can say that on there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so another one would be BDSM. And with this, they'll show different types of performances like impact play and bondage and give you an actual explanation to it and explain the benefits as well as explain the cautions that come along with BDSM, which is definitely needed because in that world you have dominant men or dominant women and submissive men or submissive women. And in this aspect, if the Dom has not done the inner work to heal or the inner work to find a better understanding of balance within, that Dom is a very dangerous person if another one willingly submits to that Dom.
Okay.
So then you have a relationship that can potentially become toxic. And in this world now, toxic relationships are very popular. They shouldn't be, but they are.
They are, yeah.
So, you know, that's why these types of events are good to help to explain what, you know, the do's and don'ts, you know, how to own your no, how to own your yes, you know, things like that. And, you know, I do demonstrations as well. I do energy work as well as tantric demonstrations. I also, you know, do demonstrations of G-spot activation, and other erogenous zones are explored to show men how to stimulate a woman tremendously without even having to penetrate her. So, like, let's take, for example, a man who is not well endowed, has never made his woman orgasm or climax. You know, with a technique I can show him, he wouldn't even have to use his lingam. I'm sorry. Lingam is the Sanskrit word for penis. Yoni, this very popular word, is a Sanskrit word for vagina, in case anybody doesn't need to know that. So yeah, for a man like that is not well endowed, you know, or has erectile dysfunction and stuff like that, you know, he can please his woman without using his lingam. And for erectile dysfunction, you know, I also teach men how to Kegel, because men can Kegel too, and it's very beneficial. Very beneficial.
Okay.
Yeah, it helps with that. So.
Wow. Wow. Okay. So you consider not just only as a sex therapist, but a healer as well,
Yes.
too. Okay.
Yes. I feel like everybody has the power to heal. Some need navigation to do their own inner healing.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a healer of myself. I navigate others to find their own healing. And this path that I'm on is from God. God has given me this. So
Yeah.
I want no confusion. I've come across a lot of religious people who are really trying to convert me, and I think it's because they see my light. They know I'm from God. So I just wanted everybody to know not to confuse what I'm saying. I'm not saying that I am the healer. I am a healer because God gave me that. God gave everybody that. We just have lost it. So,
Yeah.
you know, trying to help everybody figure it out and get it back.
How did it make you feel for people that come from the religious community or the religious organization? How did that make you feel for those that have tried to mentally convert you over to what they think or what they feel is right?
It makes me feel like I'm on the right path, like I'm doing something right. Because I feel like if you are truly religious, what I'm saying to you will come across in a way that's confusing at first, but it'll resonate with you. Even though you're confused, you will feel the truth behind it. For example, when somebody speaks to me about God, they speak to me and they say God first, and then they say He every time afterwards. They don't say God anymore. Now, for me, that's a lazy tongue. We were all taught to speak that way. We say the name of the person first, and then for the rest of the paragraph, we just mention the gender of the name. So, for me, I don't see God as a gender. I see God as limitless. God can be a woman if God wanted to be. God can be a man if God wants to be. You see how I said God every time? So, when I say something like that for a religious person, they're thinking, well, he's not saying God has limits. He's saying God's limitless. So how do I argue with that? It's like, what do you say to that? I'm just saying I don't see God as a man, and you do. And I'm asking you, why do you only see God as a man? Like, let me hear you say God as a woman. And they will never say it. Let me hear you say God is all genders, and they will never say it. They will say God is a man. So, but they can't really disagree with me. So it's like a conundrum, so I have to just let it go.
Yeah.
Let them find it in their own time.
Yeah. What I want to do is, for a few seconds, I want to show the viewers a little bit of what you do as Yoni. So we're going to take a quick look at a video. It's only going to be for just a few seconds of what you do, and then when we come back, we're going to have more with you to talk about your profession, and also tying mental health with erotic art, and how that can be beneficial to many others that partake in that type of activity, that type of lifestyle, if you will. So let's take a look at what you do. This is Yoniwhisperer doing his thing, ladies and gentlemen, and I want to advise everybody that some of what you see or are about to see is a bit explicit, so viewer discretion is advised. You want to, if you haven't already, take the kids into another room, because you're about to see some grown people stuff, okay? So we're going to be right back with Yoniwhisperer after this quick little tease here.
All right.
Offering a realistic perception of sex as it relates to sexual reflexology, introducing the Yoniwhisperer. Order now on...
And we're back. Sean Garvey and my special guest. For those who are just tuning in, we are talking to Yoniwhisperer. And Yoniwhisperer, how do you address yourself when people see the type of content you do, your presentation? Like, what, I know we broke down some of the things that you specialize in, sex therapy and sexual healing, and like, how do you address or introduce yourself to people that are getting to know you for the first time, or just getting well acquainted with you, if you will?
I'm an intentional touch practitioner.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that.
I teach how to own your intention, or to set an intention and let it come through and through touch, energy exchange.
Okay. An intentional touch practitioner.
Yes.
Okay, try saying that 3 times. All right, I like it. I like it. So let's switch gears, because we're really talking about some heavy stuff as it pertains to all things adult entertainment, sex, and even erotica. Of course, the topic that people tend to talk about a lot is mental health and mental illness. And as a person who is a mental health advocate, such as myself, I always want to stress the importance of making sure that one is maintaining their well-being, if you will. So, with everything that we talked about in the first half of this conversation, let's talk about the relationship between mental health and erotica. What does that look like to you as a practitioner, as a professional such as yourself?
I feel like the mental health issue is not only for people who have been diagnosed. People who haven't been diagnosed living regular lives. It affects their sexual performance if their mental health isn't balanced. And what that could look like in a relationship could be anything from, insecurities to jealousy or distrust or feeling jaded or anything like that can spiral into something a lot worse if not treated, if not attended to or nurtured. So as far as people with diagnosis, I feel like we definitely need to spend a lot of time studying the different people and different diagnoses to find out how that relates to, how a climax relieves stress for them, or how sexual positions can help them as well too, because there are sexual positions that can help with diabetes, that can help with your blood flow, that can help with your heart rate, your liver, your eyesight. So if that's the case, if sexual positions can help in different parts of your organs, they has to be able to help with your brain as well, or so unfortunately I'm not a scientist where I have the ability or the instruments to actually, but I'm thinking about, I'm not thinking about, I have plans to connect with people to work with me on that.
Yeah, it's interesting you said that too, because I've been hearing lately that if one masturbates, especially men that masturbate, it helps them with their prostate.
Yes.
Have you heard that? And if so, how true, how accurate is that?
It helps you with your prostate to Kegel. When you masturbate, you're activating the muscles that you use to Kegel. Now, as far as releasing, so you said it helps to masturbate. It didn't say it helps to orgasm. It didn't say it helps to masturbate to completion. It just says it helps to masturbate because you're stimulating a muscle, and it's making you the muscle you're using is the muscle you use to stop yourself from peeing in midstream. So now that you can picture where the muscle is, activate it. Just tighten it.
Yeah.
Did you feel it?
Oh yeah.
That's the muscle that you use to stop yourself from peeing, and it's the muscle that, if worked out, just like any other muscle, can help with your prostate. Yeah, it's not healthy to release the seed though, to release the life force, but it is healthy to stimulate yourself.
Yeah, because when you tell people, or when you have certain conversations with people and you just say, oh, I masturbate, or when you are asked, do you masturbate, and you say yes, it seems like that's a curse, or it's a bad thing to masturbate. It almost goes back to some of what we said about the religious community and how reserved they are about certain things that you can't do before you get married, right? But the masturbation, people don't know how healthy it is to masturbate at certain times.
But there's a fine line. I could see why, well, I don't want to, when religion says it's not, it's a sin, is it a sin to masturbate? Is that what they say?
Well, some folks in the community, in the religious community, consider masturbation as a sin.
A sin, okay.
Yeah.
So let's say, even though I'm only using 10 to 15% of my brain, but I'm trying to think like God would think. God knows that releasing our life force isn't healthy for us. God also knows that masturbating is healthy for us. So God probably doesn't want us to, release the seed. When man found this out, he probably just said, masturbating is not good, just to cut out the middle, right? And this is an assumption. I have no idea. I wasn't there. I don't know. But I'm thinking logically, if masturbating is healthy for you and orgasming is not, where do we find the line to stop? And what does that line look like? What it looks like is you're building up a life force by masturbating. You have a busy day today. So I'll build up my life force and I'll use it to help me get through my day.
Yeah.
You know, the life force was not in my scrotum before I started masturbating.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to start my day without the life force. It would have been a little harder. But if I masturbate and bring myself to the point where I'm about to, and I just ejaculate instead of ejaculate, the energy that I have from that life force is just, it's monumental. It
Yeah.
feels great. It looks great.
Yeah.
You know, so, man. So yeah, that's, I don't know. I don't know. It's teaching men how to masturbate for the energy rather than the pleasure of it. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And that's a different perspective to have over so many generations of pleasure seekers.
Yeah.
We're all pleasure seekers, you know, and the pleasure, it's not the finish line, you know.
Right. Right.
So,
Yoniwhisperer here on the Sean Garvey and my special guest show. What is the feedback you've been getting from people who watched your content or who have came to one of your shows? What is the feedback you've been getting so far? What does that look like?
okay, so my shows are open for singles and couples. So there was a couple times where the man is very interested in what's happening, but won't ask a question because he's in a crowd, he's with his woman.
Mm-hmm.
So the woman will ask for him in her own way, you know. So yeah, there is it's curious. It's a different perspective, and for women, I understand why they're excited by this perspective because it shifts the onus onto them, you know. And it's been so many decades with the onus being on us, you know. Let's see how that plays out. The sexual attention's been on men for decades, right?
Yeah.
That puts a lot of pressure on our lingams, our penises. We think about the pressure, we really don't think about it, but there's a lot of pressure on a man's lingam. A woman is expecting him to stay hard just by looking at her. A man requires no stimulation, according to women. A man is sexually simple, and he has to stay hard in the condom for the duration of the sexual encounter. So, that being said, if a man switches his perception and he's not thinking about orgasming first, he's thinking about ways to please the woman first. You know.
That is true. I will say that from experience. That is true.
Yeah. So you know, so the woman has to realize that the man is not as simplistic as she thinks, as she's been taught to think. You know, he has erogenous zones. He has things that turn him on too. So you know, so the woman will ask, you know, what can he do? What can he do to keep me moist or keep me wet?
Yeah.
You know, and the man will ask, well, what can she do to keep me hard? You know, these are questions that needs to be asked in the bedroom, but they're not going to ask each other that. They're not going to tell the person, I'm not turned on right now. Can you do something to help me? They don't want to have to say that. They want their partner to know.
To know, because, yeah.
They want their partner to know that they need stimulation. And this is all a part of the communication gap that we have.
But do you think, though, is it because they're just not with the right people when they're having sex? Because, see, the thing is guys, we can go out here and we can have sex with as many people as we want to, and we may not even care about that person. But if it's that right person that is on the same frequency as us, I think it'd be a different situation, though.
Definitely. We have intention.
Yeah.
When you say guys can go out and have sex with anybody, the only intention behind that is primal. We have a primal side. But when you have somebody you're connected to, your frequencies are aligned.
Right.
You're setting an intention before you're having sex. So everything you're doing is intentional. You know what I mean? So you wouldn't have to ask for further stimulation. You wouldn't have to ask for, because you're on the same frequency.
Right.
You're speaking the same language.
Right, yeah.
You know what I mean? but we don't meet that person every time. Most of the time, we're meeting the person, we're not on the same frequency. We just want to get there. We're in their primal thought. So, and we're still going through with the movements of having sex with them. In those moments, we need better communication to make that happen. You know, we need a lot of communication to make that happen.
That's a big thing when it comes to intimacy with sex and just everything in between communication. Y'all have no idea how much communication plays a role in everything that we do in our everyday life.
Not just verbal communication, the body language.
But yes.
Autistic children or just autistic people.
Let's talk about it.
All right. So you ever notice when you're speaking to an autistic child, you're trying to give them the child a directive or something to do, they're not responsive to the words. You know, the language we speak is not really a language. It's, you know, it's just sounds we're making, and we know what the sounds mean. But autistic children know that. They just see the truth. You know what I mean? You ever notice you give an autistic child an object that is man-made, or they'll destroy it. It's not ripping up paper. It just they see the truth. This object is not the truth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're more in the spirit realm than we are. We just think that they're crazy or they're just off. No, we're off. We're completely off from distraction. Distraction has completely taken us off of our access from source. We're the ones that's blinded. You know, it's time to wipe that shit, wipe that off, and excuse my language, wipe that off and see again. Well, see for the first time, really.
Yeah. Yeah, I used to say, and I still say to this very day, that kids, not saying kids are smarter than adults, but kids are very curious.
Less tainted.
Yeah.
They're less tainted.
Than adults.
Less programmed.
Yeah. That's deep. That's heavy right there. I want to touch on a few things, and this goes back to the masturbation part, right? Two things, right? When people tend to masturbate, certain people, not saying all, but certain people, they will pop a tape in, or they look at porn on their phone or on their computer. Not just only men, but women.
Pop a tape in?
Pop a tape in. That's how old I just told my age. That pop a tape in. Pop a VHS tape in.
Did I hear him right? You said pop a tape in. Go ahead.
Yeah, pop a VHS tape in. I don't know if there's too many people that pop a VHS tape in nowadays to look at porn, but I know porn is it's on.
Maybe grandpas and grandmas, maybe.
Maybe yeah, you know, grandpas.
I'm a grandfather though, so.
Oh man, congrats, man, congrats. So they feel like they need that to masturbate. Is that healthy, or can people do away with masturbating without it? I mean, is it a necessity, or?
I feel like the best and healthiest way to masturbate would be to do it from thought or memory. If you must view something, view a tape of yourself having sex, like if you had a sex tape, like, or if you're looking at porn. The tricky thing about looking at porn is the intention. So if the porn you're watching is really commercial and it's showing the unhealthy ways to have sex, then it's not healthy to watch that. But if it's showing you, something that is beneficial and it's educational, or it's something that you didn't know, but it stimulates you to the point where you get turned on. Yeah, that's healthy. It's really healthy. How could it not be? It's stimulated. It's something you didn't know. Something that stimulated a part of your brain, that stimulated your genitals, and it turned you on to the point where you wanted to, masturbate. It's probably going to create a sexual muscle memory of that, what stimulated you. Yeah. So the downside to that is you trying to reduplicate that in real life. That's when it becomes unhealthy.
Yeah, and now we're getting into the area and the conversation of porn addiction now.
Yes.
Right? And I'm asking for a friend because I spoke to a friend the other day.
Sure
And,
you
and he said to me, he said, you know, Sean, I watch porn every day. But when I go out, I practice self-control. You know, I practice self-control, especially when I work around women, I'm around women and stuff. But when I go home as a single guy, and I'm a single man myself, so I understand where he's coming from. But as a single guy like himself, he watches porn every day. Is that porn addiction though, or is that healthy for him for the time being as a single person until he gets into a relationship?
Well, if he's admitting to you that he watches it every day, that doesn't mean he only watches it once a day.
Right, he watches it every day.
So that means he could be doing it multiple times a day. And it sounds like it's a form of stress relief. So with any other form of stress relief, he's addicted to it. He's using that as a way to get out. When all we really need is what we have. You know, that's what God gave us. We're able to break all of our stresses with ourselves. So, you know, he's addicted to it.
He's addicted to ooh.
Yeah.
What would you what advice can you give him, or just even women that, because you know there are women out there that watches porn every day or almost every day as well too. So what advice can you give to people that look or go to that type of entity, to that arena, to release all that stress? What, you know, do you tell them to do it in moderation, or
Try not to release. Start with that. I'm talking about the men. Try not to release if you're going to watch it. Like, if you're going to do that, use it to build up your energy for your day. I promise you, when you finally do have sex with somebody else, with a woman, your sexual chi is going to be so strong that, you know, you're going to feel like a different sexual person. Like, you're going to live in a different life, you know. And try to alter the types of porn. Like, it's probably like in a couple, like maybe 2 or 3 categories consistently when he go into porn. The things that turn him on, he stays in that realm, you know. So try to type in something that may be educational, you know, sexually educational. See what comes up, you know.
yeah,
That may help too, you know. If you're doing it 3 times a day, try only 1 time a day. You know, cut back on it. Make sure you do 50 push-ups every time you watch porn.
50 push-ups? Wait a minute, what does that do? I'm curious to know, what does that do when you do 50 push-ups after you watch porn?
Because if you're not orgasming, you have energy now. Put it towards your body.
Okay.
If you're watching porn 2 to 3 times a day, the 7 days in a week, that means you're doing 50 push-ups each time. It's 150 push-ups a day. Come on, man. How you gonna look in a month? How you gonna feel in a month?
Yeah.
We all have bad habits. So if you create a good habit and attach it to the bad habit, you'll do something good just as many times as you've done something bad during that day. What'll end up happening is one will cancel out the other.
Okay.
So you smoke too much. If you know, do 50 squats every time you smoke a cigarette or something like that.
Right.
By the end of the month, you're not going to smoke as many cigarettes as you smoked last month. If you're staying true to it, and your legs are going to be crazy, you know. So, yeah, just apply something a good habit to your bad habit. Tell them to do 50 push-ups every time you watch porn.
And try that.
Or crunches. How's his health?
Yeah.
How's his health?
How's his health? It's pretty good.
Okay, he's in good shape?
Yeah, he's in good shape.
Okay, so he'll probably accept that challenge with no problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. There you go. Thank you, my friend, if you're watching us.
Yeah.
Let's talk about sex toys. Okay? Sex toys. How healthy is that, especially for women now? Let's talk about that.
See, wish I could take a shot on that one. I know a couple sex toy owners. All right, so with me being an intentional touch practitioner,
Yeah.
The sex toy industry is my direct competition. It's not another sex practitioner. It's the sex toy
Is your
industry.
competition? And how so?
Because, let's say for women,
Okay.
women are turning to sex toys mainly because of the sexual disconnect that they have with men. It's not a disconnect that they have with women. Women can please women fine. It's the disconnect that they've had with men for decades. And what this does is it's like putting porn in a hyperbolic chamber. It's so false that it creates a reality that will never exist in the touch reality. So it's giving this woman a vibration that cannot exist in reality. It's man-made. It's a man-made machine. And I've never tried the thing that they use for men that I don't know what I can say.
Yeah,
but
I think I know what you're talking about.
stimulates his
Yeah,
lingam.
yeah.
I've never tried that, but it doesn't look attractive. It doesn't look like something I want to try. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't
right.
know. It's just me. But some men do have tried it, and they probably love it. You know, I can't speak on that because I've never tried it. I don't know how realistic it is to a woman's mouth or not, or her yoni. But you know, and when you get into having to use a machine to substitute what another self-sustaining system is able to do, you're a self-sustaining system, and so am I.
Yeah.
It's not going to be something that's creating a realistic point of view on a topic for you. It's not going to be realistic, you know, and it's promoting addiction to it too. Definitely get addicted to it really fast.
Yeah.
What's the one body part that was created that's only made for pleasure?
Ooh, one body part. Could it be on a woman or a man?
I'm not telling you the gender.
Okay, not telling. I'm gonna say the first thing that comes to my mind is breasts.
So breastfeeding is not a purpose of the breast.
It's one of them.
Its only purpose is pleasure. It has no other purpose.
No other purpose. What body part?
I'm not telling you the gender.
The leg.
The leg? The leg is for pleasure? The leg?
Hey, let me see.
dog?
My
The
my
leg
legs.
for the dog?
Let me see. You can do a lot of things with the leg. No.
One more-
All right,
one more-
I'm gonna give you one more. I'm
guess.
gonna give you one more guess. One
Okay.
more guess. I'm gonna go with the ear.
The ear.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the ear.
Okay. No judgment, no shame. You're good.
Okay.
The clitoris.
Look at.
It's
What-
only made for pleasure.
Okay.
It's on a woman. So why are we only thinking about the male's orgasm? Every other
That's it.
organ on all of our bodies has multiple purposes. The clitoris's only purpose is pleasure.
You just gave me something to think about. Clitoris. Yeah.
Bro, you said the leg.
Yeah. But, hey, that wasn't my first guess. At least I said breast. You know?
You did.
Oh, wow. Okay, I just learned something new. Wow. Interesting. Yoniwhisperer right here on Sean Garvey and my special guest. What do you want people to take away when viewers and when people look at your content or go to your events and see what you do as an intentional touch practitioner? What do you want people to take away?
There's a difference between intimacy and sex. And the sex we've been having, we need to find balance and heal from it so that we can start having sex that will benefit us, you know. So.
Simple and plain. And, you know, again, like, and I'm glad that you came on this show because it just helps clear the misunderstanding and the misconceptions of people like yourself that do what you do versus what we normally have saw over years and years and years. Because, see, the porn industry it's a very old industry. It's been around for a long time, since ancient history, right? And so with people like yourself that come from the community that practice what you do from a healing standpoint, it's something to some people or to a community of people is something new because they're just so used to seeing porn, hearing about porn, and the negative connotation, right, that comes along with it. But what people like yourself from the community are doing is just more from a healthier spiritual standpoint, along with education and entertainment, because you are providing entertainment to your viewers, to your audience, to your community, but you also educating them at the same time.
Yes.
What are your thoughts, before we wrap up, what are your thoughts on how society and how people view sex workers? Like, it seems like that's a new term that people use nowadays to describe what they do that is adjacent to anything that's the exchange of body fluids, body parts, and stuff like that. But what are your thoughts on the term or the whole notion of sex workers?
All right, so yeah, sex worker, the term sex worker came up recently, over the last decade. I believe that certain people that want to create a different perception of sex, a lane for people to heal and educate themselves, they realize that they have to find a term that's relatable, that can be accepted. And, you know, anything that, if you say sex, anything behind the word sex, it's going to be already taboo. It's already something that, you know, what are your, you know, you're a content creator, you're a porn star, or you're, so.
Or OnlyFans model.
Or OnlyFans model.
Yeah.
So we put sex worker behind it, and it covers Reiki, it covers energy work, it covers Tantra, it covers Kama Sutra, it covers a vast amount modalities that can help navigate people to healthy sex or healing from it, better sex, longer, more pleasurable.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, there's definitely a negative connotation on sex workers, and there's a negative connotation on content creators as well. Not all content creators are, you know, just starting it and, you know, getting it.
That's
that way.
true.
You know,
Yeah.
some content creators are putting up content that's actually beneficial if you know who they are, and it's no sex involved at all. You know, so a lot of people are just followers. They just, you know, whatever is being said to follow, you know, we're just used to conforming to it, you know, and we should try to reverse that and find the leader in ourselves, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because we all have it in us. It just takes more energy.
Yeah. You said something just a few moments ago, and I'm telling my age again, by the way, too. The Kama Sutra.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. There was a book called Kama Sutra and a movie, Kama Sutra. Does the Kama Sutra thing, does that fall in line with what you do, or at least close to it?
Yeah. It teaches sexual positions. Some of the positions in Kama Sutra help with your liver, your diabetes, and, you know, they show those descriptions as well.
Okay.
You know, all right, so Tantra and Kama Sutra,
Yeah.
the way that this society has delivered these modalities to us is Tantra is only about sex when there's three major components. Tantra is about the spiritual, the physical, and the sexual, and finding balance between the three. But Western civilization only gives it to us in the form of sex. The same thing with Kama Sutra. Kama Sutra is a study of the different sexual positions that are beneficial to you. But it's not given to us that way. It's given to us like, you know, I want to try this position. I want to try this. But they're not giving us the benefits of these positions. There's so many benefits in those positions that we don't even know about. We're not even, it's just a new position to us. It looks fun.
Yeah.
Let's try it. But it's a science to sex. It's really a science to it, you know?
Yeah, and you broke it down on today's show. It really is a science.
It's
You don't
really
know.
a science
You
to
don't
it.
know how much of a science it is until you speak to Yoni, you have a conversation with Yoni, or you see some of his content.
Thank you.
That we're getting ready to talk about as we're wrapping up today's conversation here
Let's
on
talk
Sean
about it.
Garvey and my special guest, Yoniwhisperer. So we have an app called Honey. It's a streaming app which is available on Roku. And we've actually been around for almost 2 years now. It's going on 2 years since we launched the app. And once again, it's called the Honey app. You can definitely find it on Roku. But you have recently partnered up with us to showcase your content to the viewers that we have. And so, again, looking at your content, I see it from both an entertainment and educational standpoint. But tell the folks out there that may be interested or looking forward to seeing some of your stuff. Explain to people what they will be able to see or what they will be able to grasp when they look at the Yoniwhisperer experience.
Okay. Well, currently I have 2 episodes up.
Yep.
And what you can see now, one of them is actually up there for free, so you can actually get a sample of what's going on. I just basically put together a lot of the different events that I've done in Atlanta, sort of like the best of, so you can grasp, the way that I interact in the fetish community and why I'm known as a Yoniwhisperer. But currently I'm working on scripted scenes that I've written.
Ooh, okay.
I'm writing scripts now, so, and we've already shot 2 other scenes that are going to be uploaded as well.
Nice.
So what the scenes will display will be real life sexual situations, yielding real life sexual solutions. For example, like what we were talking about, if I did create a scene with a married couple when the wife was not pleased for 5 years and the husband needed to learn how to please her, I would script that, I would write that out and have, the roles filled. I'm not saying I'm doing that, but I'm just letting you know that if that would be an example of a scripted scene. And if you are interested, please subscribe because you will be able to see it. But if you're interested to try to be in it, I'm doing castings as well.
Ooh,
so
okay.
Coming up, I'll shoot out some information for people who want to play some roles that I have lined up.
Ooh. Now you writing the script. Will you be directing?
I'm writing, directing. I'm shooting it. Myself and my partner, who I wouldn't be able to do a lot of this stuff without him. He's teaching me how to, be crew. I've done some acting before, but I've never been behind the camera. Now I'm learning how to navigate behind the camera. So.
Oh, awesome! Now this is the true definition of a Renaissance man right here. Yes. Especially in the profession that you're in. Well, that's great. That's great and everything. And of course, like you just mentioned a little bit, you have some upcoming events here in Atlanta.
Yes. Okay. So on the 29th, which is the last Friday of this month, I'm having a fetish party, and I will be. If you're following me on Instagram, my Instagram tag, is it too early for that?
No, okay. Go for it.
Is Sacred Fetish, spelled just like it sounds. And I will be posting the information on there, just so you can know, the details. If you would like to attend, just let me know.
Okay. And once again, the information, or do you want to provide your email address as well?
Sure. My email address is relieveyourburden@gmail.com. My Instagram is Sacred Fetish. So those are the 2 platforms that I'm using.
Awesome, awesome. And we have it at the bottom of the screen there for people to get in contact with you for more information. Listen, Yoni, this has been one of the best interviews I have done so far. This has been one of the best. You shared some great information to our viewers and to clear up the misconception of sex working and erotic work in the industry. And it's still part of the adult industry, but it's great to have these type of conversations and get an understanding from people like yourself that's in the industry to get a better understanding that you and people like yourself are doing things from a communal standpoint, and you're just not out here doing it just to be doing it and just doing it for the money.
Right.
You know, you're actually doing it to change people's lives and to help people that are struggling in the bedroom or struggling in that type of department, if you will.
I just want to add something before we leave.
Sure, absolutely.
A lot of our attention is geared towards the viewer of porn and how it affects the viewer's life. A lot of the work that I'm doing is for the viewer, yes, but a lot of it is for the creators as well.
Mm-hmm.
The professionals in the porn industry, whether they're old school porn or new school porn, whether they're content creators, which is amateur porn.
Yeah.
The level of disconnect that they have to have in order to perform at the level that they're performing, most of the times they're not attracted to the lover. They're not attracted to the person that they're working with. And attaching money to those sexual acts is attaching money energy to your sexual energy. Mm-hmm. And the money energy is needed for bills. It's needed for rent. It's needed for these things that you need to live. So that's why I'm saying detach. They have to detach themselves in order to become a character. Mm. And it's so hard to turn that off and on from real life to set. It's
right.
really hard to, especially if they have a lover at home, you know. So these performers have to heal too. These performers have to purge.
Sure.
You know, and some of them don't know that they need to heal and that they need to purge. Some do know. You know, but it's just, we have to create a stage, a safe space for them too.
Safe space, yeah.
You know, for them to play that out and to get rid of that and release that cup. You know what I mean? So it's for the viewer as well as the performer.
Mm. Love it, love it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I know I said offline that I wanted to throw out some fun fact questions out there for people to get even more well acquainted with the one and only Yoniwhisperer. You said you are from New York, a native from New York. Mm-hmm. Okay, I gotta ask, Bronx or Queens?
Harlem.
Harlem.
What? How you gonna put Queens before? What?
Well, I'm saying that from a hip hop perspective.
No disrespect, Queens. I'm just saying, like, Harlem's supposed to come before Bronx. Bronx, not Bronx. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean,
Harlem's
it was
Manhattan. That's where the money at.
Money making, what's it?
Money making New York. But
yeah.
But Manhattan is Harlem. That's where the money at. It's Wall Street.
Oh, see.
You say Harlem first or Manhattan first.
See, my shout out to my family from New York.
They're from the Bronx.
Well, one of them is from the Bronx.
Okay.
One of them is from the Bronx. One of them is from Mount Vernon.
Money making Mount Vernon.
Yeah.
That's
Mount
heavy
Vernon.
D. That's upstate New York.
Yeah.
If you say you from New York, and we be like, well, they say Mount Vernon, you be like, all right, well, yeah, you from New York, but
okay.
but you know
right.
what I mean? Yeah.
Okay. Knicks or the Nets?
Knicks.
Knicks.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool. All right. And now we stand on hip hop for a second here, because I'm a lover, I'm a connoisseur when it comes to hip hop. Okay. Jay-Z or Nas?
Nas.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
awesome. And one last question, outside of New York and outside of hip hop, the beach or the mountains?
Oh. Can we do a beach that has a mountain?
There's a mountain somewhere on the beach.
Yeah.
Somewhere on the planet.
Can I take a drink on that?
Now, next time we bring you on here, we're gonna have some drinks in front of us next time.
We don't have either one of those in New York, so.
Yeah. All right. Well, Yoniwhisperer, man, like I said, one of the best interviews. Thank you so much.
Thank you
been
for
a
having
pleasure.
me.
It's been a pleasure, sir. Thank you so much for educating and putting us on game and dropping these gems when it comes to sex. Hey, guys out there, yo, go back and watch this episode. If you're having trouble, if you're struggling in the bedroom, women, this is for you all too. And again, the event is coming up on 29th of this month. Of August. All right. Mm-hmm. So for more information, once again, just for those that missed out, is
Sacred Fetish on Instagram.
Yep.
I will give you all the details.
All the details. Just follow him. All right. All right, Sean Garvey and my special guest. We got more coming up. Thank you so much for tuning in. And please, don't masturbate too much, okay? Don't masturbate too much. We don't want you to hurt yourself, all right? Have the intention, okay? All right, we want some backs to be blown out, but literally, we don't want you to, hurt yourself too much now. All right, let me stop. Y'all keep it locked. Sean Garvey.